And I'm back. It is now about an hour later. None of that matters, does it? It doesn't really matter how long it takes me between episodes, because it's the same amount of time between episodes for you guys. Anyway, welcome back to Black Clover. Last time around, we had the potentially direct fireball and the wild lightning. No, wait. The pointlessly direct? Oh, I can barely read that for me. I think that it's pointlessly, not... Anyway. Last time around, Veto dropped in. Yami can't get there to fight him, so it's up to the gang. And Luck and Magna put in all their strength to try to stop him. And they put out their ultimate combo attack, and we'll just have to see if they can do it. We'll have to see. So, but Asta and Kayato did make it to the battle to help out. So yeah. I don't know if this is on screen or not. It might just be cut off, but about right here, I don't know if that's on screen or not. But if you see a little something in the corner, that's my Steam Deck. I'm downloading Halo. It's taking a good while, so I thought I would just leave it right here. I'll keep an eye on it, but it'll be fine. It's not like I'm going to be, distracted much. I'm just going to look over every so often, hit the joystick so the thing doesn't fall asleep while it's downloading. So I just wanted you to know, also pretty much for while we're doing this, if I look over to my right, that's why. So, yeah. Anywho. Yeah. That's pretty much it. That, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Black Clover. Here we go. Oh, boy. Alright, so... Gray's natural form is an anime girl. Huh. Then why be a big smoking galoot? Although, why wouldn't you be? I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, sure. Okay. I mean, it's a funny idea of someone. I mean, this is a person who has had transformation magic, presumably like their entire life, and so now it's just like, oh well, it's like I don't know. I guess it's a thing of like, if you grow up with that, it's a part of who you are. Maybe your true self does become like more private, or like it's more of just something. I don't know. It's like someone staring into your soul. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I'm saying these like heavy things about like, oh, it's like staring into someone's soul. It's such a personal thing. Gray's true form. They're also just goofy. A lot of them are goofy. So yeah, that's also, there's also that it's also just very, very goofy. So oh boy. It is interesting with this arc, because, with the last arc that we had, there was so much emphasis on Gauche, and because of that, we really got to see how strong he really is. I will say this episode kind of works because it's like, this shows kind of type advantage and disadvantages at play, which we have a lot of times, but I mean, they reference it a bit earlier with Magna, where it's like, oh well, he's at a huge disadvantage in this watery location, but he does just fine. He did just fine, and the only problem was Veto, which that's a problem for anybody, not just him. So, but with Gauche, it's interesting just seeing, being at a disadvantage basically. Because, I mean, I don't know, though, because it's like, it's a disadvantage. It's that little moment, basically, before he can get his magic going, that basically lost him most of that fight, Which is interesting, because they brought that up last episode, too, with, the moment after Veto attacks, he's vulnerable, and that's what Magna and Luck were using, So, oh, boy. but yeah, but that was interesting. And then I like, Gray coming in and helping out and stuff. And I mean, it's very advantageous. Gray can just sort of lurk around in this smaller form. People don't really take notice of him, or her, I should say. People don't take notice of her. And so then even once she transforms into Gauche, this guy doesn't sense that at all. He just looks at it and is like, oh, it's another double. I did this already. But it's not the same thing whatsoever, And I like that still worked where the double didn't work, But maybe it's a thing of, I don't know, how much magic does it take to maintain the transformation? Like, does it only consume magic to transform, or is magic being consumed through... I would assume so, because then why wouldn't... Because when Gray was still Gauche, and, Gauche was having to give her a piggyback ride, and it's like, oh, why don't you turn into something small? And she was like, oh, well, I don't want to use my magic. So it's almost like the transformation itself is what takes up the magic. Probably a good portion of her magic. But she tries to... So she has to limit that. I don't know. That's interesting. That's really interesting. But the actual... Once she's transformed, it doesn't put off any magic. Like, it doesn't use up any magic. So you can't sense it. So... That's an interesting thing. But yeah, that was interesting. And then we got Ghost using teamwork, which I like that. I like that moment where he's like, I almost went back. It's like, I almost unlearned my character arc, but he learned how to blink and breathe at the same time. No, he knows how to be a team, and he figured it out, and used Gray to transform the rock into meat in order to wake Charmy up. And then Charmy's just fucking strong. That's the thing about, like, the three of them. It's like, the three of them are incredibly powerful and have very great magic prowess. But they're all just goofs. They're so goofy that it's just like, man. But that was good. I also like the line where it's just like, wait, but I'm a vegetarian. So... Oh, and that guy, it's like, you look pretty old. And it's like, I'm 20 years old. So he's 1 year older than Charmy and Gauche. But, he's also about 8 years younger than me. I want to think that I look a little better. I know I got a little bit of a problem up here, but I like to think that I don't look as old as that guy did. Whew. That guy's got some city years on him, so... But yeah, and then back to the main fight. I mean, again, it's kind of what I said last episode. It's like, man, I wish he wouldn't preach all the time, And one thing I do generally like is when you have a villain who's all about strength and might and power and stuff. I like it when a villain like that acknowledges their opponents, And this guy doesn't, and that kind of bugs me. And I know that's a specific thing, but the fact that he doesn't even acknowledge Magna and Luck, he's just like, oh, after all that, you were just insects. And it's just like, man, fuck you. And I guess the thing, too, we talked about last episode, like, did he drink the Kool-Aid? Does he actually believe in the cause of the Eye of the Midnight Sun? Or is he just there to fight people? And I don't know, because he at least knows more about stuff, He knows about, the Demon Slayer sword and the Demon Dweller sword, and he understands, like, their importance, and thus he hates that Asta has those, But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I also think he's just kind of crazy, so... I don't know. Why don't you just give up? Nah, man. If he gives up, how could he protect anybody? Asta's just a fucking hero, so... And now Kahono and Noelle have entered the fight, Oh boy, I hope. I hope. At the very least, Kahono has recovery magic, so if she can... I mean, but that's the thing, is like, if she can heal them, but if she's going to heal them, then she needs someone to distract him, and that basically ends up going to Noelle? I hope. We'll have to see. I mean, Noelle is incredibly strong. She's just gotta focus her power and actually hit someone. I feel like she'd want to hit this guy, though. So, I don't know. But yeah, good stuff, and I'm curious to see where we're going next time. But that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Black Clover reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.
I've been crying for hours, baby.